Good, good. 5 days off. Okay. I'm doing very long. For how long? Huh? For how long? You haven't been here very long. I'm saying you're not here very long.
Oh, I understood you. Been here for very long.
No, I'm not here. I just came also. I just here a few days. I came from, I was in Dubai. I came from the Middle East. I was just, before that I was in China. I travel a lot. Move around. Usually I'm based over in Asia. I don't usually come much to Europe. I spend a lot of time in Asia. Countries like Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, and then Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China, and Far Eastern and Russia. These places. So, originally I'm from the UK. So, I haven't been back to the UK in a long time. So, have you been in any other Hare Krishna places? No? Oh, just one. Yes, where? One in Dublin? Okay. Yeah, we have in Australia, they have the thing, we have woofers, it's quite similar to your situation, the woofers, they have a lot of them in Australia. In Australia, they have some farming places, like it's bigger than, with more cows and more people and stuff around. This is a smaller, quieter place here. But in places like in parts of Australia, we have some quite big farming centers going on, farming communities. There's a lot of families and a lot of things going on. So I have a lot of woofers also come and they stay, they like this and just get nice prasad, nice food there. In Australia, people all know Hare Krishna, good food. So we like it. They come. So we're trying to open up to people who are not devotees. We want them to also come and understand something about what we're doing here, the lifestyle here. The emphasis on more on simple living and high thinking. Material world outside, people are more interested in modern living, sophisticated living. They want to enjoy luxuries and they're not much interested in thinking too high. They think very simple. But in Krishna consciousness here, we put a lot of consideration into thinking about life, thinking about why we're here, where we're going, what we're doing. So that's the idea anyway. The people here, they began this community with that kind of ideal. They wanted to show an example, living simply and cultivating higher thought and being more aware about higher goals of life than just simply money, just simply making money and trying to live a luxurious life. So this center, this place is built in that kind of thinking. That man there, that's the founder. He was my teacher. I met him in London. He came. He originally gone to America from India, and he began the Hare Krishna movement in America. And he sent some people to London And then he also came to London. And so I joined Hare Krishna there in London. I met him there. And I was initiated, but I became his disciple, his student here.
Which year was?
Oh, a long time ago. You were not born. You were in another body. Yeah, in some other body, some other place. Actually, it was the year 1971. Yeah. So I joined Krishna consciousness then. It was the time when the Beatles were popular, you know, the Beatles. So they were there, and George Harrison, he was involved. He had a close relationship with the teacher, with the founder, and he actually paid for some of the things which he paid for the printing of one book about Krishna, and then he purchased a building which we have in London. It's called the Bhakti Vedanta. His name's Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So the place which George Harrison bought in London, it got the name Bhakti Vedanta Manor. It was a, older home of some aristocratic British people, with a big ground, and the lake there and everything, quite a big place, kind of almost like an estate. So he purchased it for us, and we've been using it ever since. At one point he tried to close it down because he didn't like all the people coming, especially all the Hindu people coming. He didn't like that. The British people are very conservative, they don't like the other people coming. So anyway, we had a big fight, big struggle, went through all the courts, and we lost. Everywhere we lost. But we kept fighting even though we lost. And eventually we got a lot of public support. And other people realized that if they could close us down, then they could be closed down too. So a lot of other people took it seriously, and they helped us and they supported us, because they thought if they can close down the Hare Krishna people, they can close down our place too. So a lot of people joined in and supported us, and we were able to finally make some agreement with the local people that we moved the entrance to the temple around to the back side so that we didn't come through the village, because it was a quiet village, and we didn't like all the cars coming to the program. Especially when we have festivals, we get a lot of people coming. Even here also, when they have a festival here, we have a lot of people come. So they didn't like all the noise, they wanted to live peacefully in the countryside. So we moved the entrance around the back so that we didn't have to come through their village. And to keep the temple, keep the manor open. So it's going on. We often get trouble with neighbors, If you live in the city, because we make a lot of noise, singing, playing instruments and stuff, we don't like it. People get disturbed by it. So this is a good place for us to be. But even here, in these kind of places, sometimes the neighbors don't like it, so many people coming in the country. We want to be quiet. We want to be peaceful. You can't please everyone. It's difficult. Anyway, but we've been here quite a long time now, since Prabhupada's time, since this time. So it must be about 50 years of being here. When did you come here? 79. Okay. 79. So 29 will be 50 years. So a few years to go. So it takes a long time to develop things, it's not easy. And of course winter's very severe here. So we have a lot of snow and it's high up. So it's a bit cooler here. Like Ireland, I think, you get a lot of rain there, right?
It's not as rainy here.
Huh?
It doesn't rain as much here.
Not here, not much as Ireland, right? Yeah. They told me it rains more in the north than here. This is the south. This is considered southern Germany. But northern Germany is really cold and wet. We get a lot of rain there. And this place is higher up, so it's cooler. A lot colder than like Munich. If you're in Munich, it's not so cold. Munich's not so far away. So we have a lot of centers in Italy also. Did you know Hare Krishna there in Italy?
No, but I just found out that our man was around where I live.
Yeah?
So I will definitely go visit them.
Yeah. Oh, you just travel, you're just here for a little while, you go back to Italy from here?
Yes. Yeah.
Not very far away from Italy.
No, not. You can reach it by bus and it's not taking long anyway.
Oh, you can get a bus, to Italy from here?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we were talking, we thought buses are better to travel than other places, other ways. I know when I'm in countries like Thailand, it's convenient to go on the bus there. Malaysia also, much easier. We go on airplanes or trains, it's difficult to get tickets and buses you can usually get without too much trouble. So we try to develop Krishna consciousness here. Devotees come, they stay here. Some people have been staying here for 50 years. Some of the people, some of the ladies cooking, been here 50 years. So in the beginning, it was very primitive here, very simple. Now, of course, they've developed it quite a bit. They have better facilities than we had in those days. So, people coming to our Krishna consciousness movement nowadays, they don't know, they don't understand what it was like 50 years ago and how we were living and how we were struggling to maintain everything. So somehow it survived, it's going on. And devotees, some devotees, they have some expertise, so they come and they use their skills to do things. Like somebody may be a carpenter, somebody may be a plumber, and so on. We have a really beautiful place. If you ever go to Belgium, there's a place called Radadej. And it's really a beautiful place. It's one of these older houses. And during the wartime, during the time of the Second World War, it was used there for keeping injured soldiers there. But it's a really beautiful place, and some of the artists who go there paint pictures, and beautiful paintings everywhere. And we have a nice ground. Like here, we have cows and we have land. Trying to cultivate the land, live off the land. We think self-sufficiency is something very much desirable, to be able to support ourselves without depending on going to supermarkets every week to purchase everything. We think it's much nicer if we can grow our own food. So the devotees here are trying to grow their own food. They grow quite a few vegetables and different seasonings. And flowers also. Flowers have become you get flowers in the market now, they don't have any smell, a lot of them, But I notice here, whenever they come with the flowers, they're very fragrant. They have a very nice aroma. I thought it was very special. Because often the flowers you buy in the market, have no smell. And that's especially true in the USA. In the USA and in countries like Hong Kong and China and Singapore, the flowers there, they're all, manufactured. They're not really grown with any real love or devotion. But here, they grow the flowers themselves, and they're really fragrant. They really have a nice aroma. And that's true also for the vegetables and different things, So when you can produce your own food, you purchase things in the market, they say, yes, it's organic, and you pay like 4 times the price, because they tell you it's organic, but you don't know. But if you grow your own stuff, you can be sure if it's organic or not. And so we're trying to do that. The devotees grow their own food. In this way they can be more satisfied with their living, with their natural condition, supporting themselves, living off nature, living and not abusing nature, If you put chemicals, you use insecticide and fertilizers and so many things, it just simply pollutes the earth. So we try to avoid all of these things. Use natural fertilizer. We have cows, so we have cow dung. It's a very good fertilizer for the soil. And the cows also, there's a lot of grass around for the cows to graze on. So the cows, they're happy also. You see people today where they keep cows, they tend to keep them in the barn. They never let them out. They don't have any fields for them to graze in. They just keep them in the barn. And when they don't give any milk, then they kill them. So, we like to protect the animals, try to protect especially cows. Cows are important because they give the food which is the most valuable, which is milk. Milk is the most valuable food because you drink milk, you can get a good brain to understand spiritual knowledge. And just by drinking milk, you can get pious activities. People drink Coca-Cola or they drink beer, you don't get any piety from drinking these things. But drinking milk is actually, you get piety from it. Of course, nowadays there's a movement called vegan. Many young people are vegan, and they don't take any animal products at all. And so we approve with what they're doing because the cows are so mistreated. But the cows here, they're taken care of. And even they don't have any milk, we'll continue to care for them. We're never going to kill them. We'll keep them and let them die a natural death. And it's important because if you kill the animals, then you have to take birth against an animal in order to finish their time in that animal body. So the law of reincarnation is there, you see. And we have to be considerate, take care of other living entities. So we don't do any harm for other creatures. Try to take care of everyone and everything. Look after them. So in the winter, of course, it's difficult. Everything is so cold and there's so much snow and everything here. But some devotees are prepared. They're prepared for it. Keep a good supply, get ready for the winter. They have to live in these conditions. You don't want to be dependent on going always running to supermarkets to get things. So we try to grow everything ourselves and take care of the land and use the land to produce food. There's so much land. I see in Germany so much land, right? There's a lot of land. It's a big country, a lot of land. And farming is going on, but not all the time, not everywhere. I see they have a lot of solar panels everywhere. And that's where they're not farming. They put solar panels over the land. And they're using solar panels for producing most of their electricity now, is it?
Or they use it to farm, but to feed the animals, so they can eat the animals instead of eating the farming products themselves.
It's cruel. The most of the agriculture is cruel here.
Corn.
Cruel.
Cruel. Most of the agriculture is cruel.
The politics substitutes cruel agriculture here only, mostly, like the pesticides and
pesticides and insecticides and the fertilizers and different things. And then even the seeds, it's all hormone, genetic seeds. They don't like you to use natural seeds anymore. They want you to use the genetic seeds. It's become very much, corrupted, the whole thing. This big multinational organizations are putting more pressure on the farmers to use their seeds. And the farmers suffer. It becomes more and more expensive for the farmers to live off the land.
So we are 4 vegans. We are 4 vegans.
You're all vegan.
You're all vegans.
Well, veganism, it's okay, but like most vegans, okay, they don't eat animal products, but they smoke and they drink. They do a lot of other things. They enjoy smoking and they enjoy drinking, and they say they don't eat animal products because the animals are not treated properly. But our animals are treated properly, you see. We have cows. Now the cow provides milk, and that milk is not going to be drunk by calves. At a certain point, the calves grow, and they're not, it's not good for them to drink the milk from the mother cow anymore. When they get to a certain age, if they keep drinking the milk from their mother, they'll get sick. And so but the cow continues to give milk, and that milk is very important for human beings. Just like when you have a baby, you have to feed your baby milk. You can feed your breast milk to the baby for some time, but gradually you have to give them ordinary cow's milk. Cow's milk is very important food. So being a vegan, people, it's a fashion, we think everybody's a vegan, I should also be a vegan. But if you actually understand what's happening, and then there are problems with the veganism, with their teaching, they're saying, it's cruel, that we're being cruel to the animals. But if you're not milking the cows, you're being cruel to them. The cows have milk. Their milk is meant to be taken, and it's meant for human consumption. It's actually meant for the human being.
So you would never buy a milk product from a supermarket?
No, that's terrible, yes. The milk from the supermarket, yeah. We have our own cow.
There's some cheese products from the supermarket in your kitchen here.
Yeah, they may have, but I wouldn't buy it personally. They buy it because they don't have enough milk from the cows. They don't have enough cows to meet the needs for the worship here. The problem is, you have to have the milk, which is from a cow, which is protected. So we call it ahimsa milk. Ahimsa means, you know the word ahimsa? Non-violent. Non-violent. In Buddhism, they talk about ahimsa, being non-violent. Don't kill anything. And so, ahimsa milk, that is the idea. The milk is taken from the cow and there's no violence involved. It's simply for the well-being of the cow, and the cows provide the milk for the good of the people, for the health of the people. As a child, I remember growing up in the UK, they used to give us each every morning 1 bottle of milk to drink in the school. And they would give us every day a bottle of milk. They were given, not a full pint, but a smaller bottle. Everyone was given a bottle of milk every day to drink. It was that because they considered milk to be so important for the health of the children.
Would you encourage us to eat the cheese from the restaurant here then?
To eat the
cheese in the restaurant that's bought in the supermarket?
Well, it's up to you. I don't eat it, but it's up to you if you want to eat it, You have to decide for yourself, not for me to tell you. But I know myself what I will eat and what I want to eat. I know. I have some principles, what I want to eat, what I don't. But you try to understand the general principle that we're trying to practice simple living and high thinking. We're not just simply practicing veganism. That's some other thing. See, that's not spiritual. That's just some materialistic idealism which is going around. And, we'll see how long it goes around for. But it's not a spiritual philosophy. It's not something which is going to enlighten you or bring about self-realization. There's something higher than veganism. It's just something, you could say it's pious, there's some piety there, but how much piety is there? Okay, you don't eat animal products, but you do a lot of other things. You do a lot of other things. Doesn't mean a person's going to be totally moral or, follow the laws in any ways like that. We can do so many other things. So we have to understand there's some higher principles in life. The real principle in life is to understand, first of all, who you are, to understand how we're different from the body, that we're all spiritual beings. We're souls living in the body, and we're here in this material world. We have a material body. We've taken birth, and one day you'll die. We have to prepare for the next life. We have to think about the future. Where will you go from here? We've had many births. You have to understand the nature of our existence. That we've taken birth many times in many different bodies. Now you have the human body, but in the past we've had many different bodies. There is life in all different living entities. The trees also have life. The birds, the fish, all different living entities. They're all living entities. They have life, meaning they're souls. They're also souls. Just as we are a soul, they are also souls. And we're in this material world. We have a material body, and we're subject to the laws of nature. We're subject to karma. We get reaction for our different activities. Right? Do you believe in karma?
Yeah.
Yes? Yes? Do you believe in karma? Yes? Do you believe in karma?
I'm unsure.
You don't know. Oh. Well, usually in the Christian Bible they say, as you sow, so shall you reap. Right? You get the results of your activity. In every language, in every culture, they have the law of karma. If you go to China, they have a Chinese saying like that. They say, 种豆的豆，种瓜的瓜. If you plant beans, you will harvest beans. If you plant melons, you will harvest melons. If you do good, you will get good. And if you do bad, you will get bad. You get the reaction of your work. You believe it? You believe it, right? You believe it? Yeah? It's a general understanding. You get reactions according to how you work. You do good, you get good results. You do bad, you get reactions for it. You go against the law, you get reactions. You get punished, you get things go bad for you. It happens. We have to understand the nature of the material world. It's like that. So how to get free? How to get out? That is the real problem, that we're in this material world, and this world is actually like a prison house. We're not free. We're not free. We have very limited freedom. But we want to get free. So how to... The real problem is the material body. Not only the gross body, but also the subtle body, the mind. You have a mind?
Yes.
Yeah, of course you have a mind. Yeah, you have a mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a gross body, we have also a subtle body. The subtle body is the mind and the intelligence and the ego. You know ego? So that's the subtle body. The gross body, the one we see in the mirror, but the subtle body is there also. But even finer than the subtle body, there is a spiritual body. There's the spiritual nature of every living entity. There's a soul in every living entity. And that soul is the source of consciousness. We have consciousness. Consciousness is spread throughout the body. But according to the body, consciousness will be limited. Just like a tree, they have consciousness. But the tree's consciousness is very limited because of the body. You could understand, it's not very pleasant to be in the tree body. Put your feet stuck in the ground, and you have to stand and tolerate the wind and the rain and the heat and the cold. You have to tolerate all conditions, and people will come and chop you down and break branches, take away everything. It's not very pleasant to be in the tree body. And similar to be in the animal body, the birds, they also have difficulty living. They have to fly, and they have to look for food. The tiger, even the tiger, has difficulty to find its food. So, we're in the human body. The human body is special from all the other forms of life. What is special about the human body? What do you think is special? Yes?
Our capability of complex thinking.
Yes, complex thinking, right.
Speaking.
Speaking.
The the ability to speak?
Well, dogs, and they also have their language, you know. The cats, the dogs, and the birds, they all have their language of speaking. It's a different language from our language, but they're also speaking their language. You know, so, you know, we speak, we communicate, but you'll see the birds also communicating with each other. And the cats, meow, meow, and the dogs barking, you know. Even the trees, the trees, you can sometimes hear the trees speaking, you know, as they move, in the wind, and they have their own language. So speech is not unique to humans. But what we speak about, that is a different thing. What we're speaking about. And Prabhu said, you know, complex thinking, you see? Thinking more about questions like, who am I? And why am I here? Where did I come from? Why am I suffering? I want to be happy. Why am I not happy? Like things like this. What will happen to us when we die? Where do we go? These kind of thoughts. So that's something special about human life. You know, the animals, they're thinking about food. Where is food? And they're thinking about where is sleep? Where can I go to sleep? And they're thinking also about mating and defending these things, you know, things. So eating, and we see the animal business is eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So human beings, if they're only doing these things, then they're only on the level of animals. You know, they're polished animals, right? We eat in the restaurant. Oh, that's different from the animal. Polished animal. But the same business, eating. Different quality in eating, different method but the same business, eating, fill the belly, put food in the stomach. So there's animal life and there's human life. The animals are eating and sleeping and mating and defending. What are the humans meant to be doing? Not only eating, sleeping, mating, and human life is meant for something higher, right? And as Prabhu said, the thinking about higher things, thinking about the purpose of life. Who am I? That's the first question, to understand who I am, our identity. That's important to get that right. Then to understand, why am I here? Why am I suffering? I want to be happy. Why am I not happy all the time? These kind of things. You know, we have to inquire about these things. Did you see our book, Bhagavad Gita? Did they give you a copy of the Bhagavad Gita yet? Did you see it? Bhagavad Gita?
They don't give us them, but I have them.
You have one? Oh, good. So, right, in the Bhagavad Gita, then, they're dealing with these kind of things. You see, it's a conversation. Bhagavad Gita, the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And Arjuna is coming to Krishna and he's asking Krishna about these kind of questions. He said, I'm confused. He said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he asked Krishna to guide him, to instruct him. And Krishna said, well, I'm your friend. You know, why are you asking me? It's very interesting. You've got to read the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, you should get a copy of Bhagavad Gita and read it. Read a little bit. A little bit. Keep reading. And there's so many things there. I've been reading the Bhagavad Gita for many, many years. When I was a student, that's when I first met the Bhagavad Gita. When I was studying at college. And so then, later on, when I was in London, and I started to go to the center in London, and they were speaking the Bhagavad Gita there. Devotees, young devotees, they were speaking on the Bhagavad Gita every night. And it was really nice, interesting to hear everything from them about the business of human life, to understand more about life, why we're here, what we're doing, to understand the difference between human and animal. That's important also, to get it clear, to know more about our own self. So, these are basic questions. These are important things to understand. That's when you actually become human, when we start to inquire. Inquiry, we're meant for that, investigation. So you have that nature, you're traveling around, you want to know more about the world and about life. And that's somehow you've come here. That shows that you have that potential. You have the potential to inquire. You see, you just have to go on and take it a little further and understand more. Try to find out the right knowledge, get the information correct. And usually it requires that you have to hear from what we call Shastra, or Shastra, you could say scripture. Bhagavad Gita is like scripture. Bhagavad Gita is actually from a book called Mahabharata. And Mahabharata means the history of greater India, or the history of the world. And Bhagavad Gita is one part of that book, the Mahabharata. But it's an important part. So in the Bhagavad Gita you have Arjuna and Krishna talking. And they're discussing about yoga. Krishna explains about yoga, different kinds of yoga, karma yoga. Karma yoga means the yoga of action. And then there's jnana yoga, the yoga of knowledge. And then there's dhyana yoga, the meditation of yoga meditation. And then there's bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. So there's a progression, like a ladder. You see, you go up the ladder to different levels of yoga. Did you do yoga? Have you studied yoga a bit? Yeah?
Yeah, I try to practice it a bit.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah.
I did Hatha Yoga,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned from social platforms that it's not only about the movement, the body, but also like the lifestyle, different aspects like be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Don't go over limits and respect each other, and some things like that is also what I understand as yoga.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah.
Well, that's still pretty much on the material platform. They haven't really brought you to the spiritual platform yet. They tell you, be kind, be good to others, and like that. It's something like Mother Teresa, Mother Teresa, being an Italian. Yeah, so Mother Teresa, she's very active in Calcutta, and there's still people there working in a similar way.
But for a few years now, I don't really know what is my devotion. What can I really identify with, and like these questions exactly. I didn't even realize that I will come here and that these are the main questions, but this is what I carry anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you're guided from within. within everyone, you see, within everyone there's a soul. But there's not just only one soul, there are two souls, you see. There's the individual soul, and there's also what we call the super soul, or sometimes we call it the Param Atma. Atma, we're all Atma, but we're tiny Atmas. There's the Param Atma, the Supreme Atma. And He's also there in the heart. And He's also guiding us, directing us different ways. Because He knows our heart. He knows what is our need, what is our desire. And so He directs us in different ways. He brings us to different places. We're all influenced like that, by the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul within us, who's guiding us. And sometimes He speaks to us. Sometimes He'll say, oh, you should do this, oh, you shouldn't do that, You get some kinds of direction, instructions coming from the heart. You could call it from our inner consciousness. But it's actually it's the super soul speaking to us. Or you could say the Lord in the heart. He's speaking to us and He's directing us, telling us what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, guiding us. Of course, we have to hear. Not everybody wants to hear. He's in the heart, He's speaking to us, but not everyone wants to hear. But somehow you heard, and brought you here, brought you to this place. So it's nice that you could come, you could hear about these things, you understand these things.
But I don't have the answers yet.
You don't have the answers yet? What's your question?
Like, who am I?
Oh, you don't know yet?
No.
No? Well, I'll tell you who you're not. You're not the body. We say, my hand, my leg, my body. Who am I? We talk about my body, but who's the owner of the body? So within the body, there is a soul, you see? So we're all souls. Or we use sometimes the word Atma, meaning soul. And the nature of the soul is different from the body. The body is material, right? Body changes. When we were born, we had a little baby's body. Where is that body now? The body has grown, right? And in the same way, your body will grow over the course of time. The body changes. It's temporary. But the soul is eternal. We have the gross physical body, we have the subtle body, the mind, and we have also the spiritual body, the soul. So, who are you? You are a soul. You're not the body. People make who are you? Where are you from? They will tell, I am a soul and I'm from Goloka. I'm from Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka means the spiritual world. We're all spiritual beings and we come from the spiritual world. You're not from Italy. Your body may be from Italy or your body may be from Germany, whatever, but we are all souls. And our souls are all eternal. For the soul, Bhagavad Gita says, for the soul there's no birth and there's no death. Not having once been, does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So the body dies, but we don't die. We don't die because we are souls. Death is simply the change of body. You move from one body to another body. Do you believe in reincarnation?
When I think about it, I won't deny. I think it's a beautiful mindset.
Yeah. There has to be reincarnation. Otherwise, how could we explain why somebody is born in a body which is healthy and somebody else is born sickly? Somebody gets education and somebody doesn't get any education. Somebody is born rich and somebody is born poor. Why does it happen? It's not by chance, but we could say this is the karma. This is the reaction coming from past life. As you sow, so shall you reap. The way we live in this lifetime will determine the type of body we take in the next life. We move on to another body. And we are sowing the seeds of the future body by the way we live today. We're preparing for the next body.
Sounds a little bit like the body owner short.
It's his fault.
Yeah, that it's his fault of the soul that the body is sick from the previous owner. So, is there a chance that the soul is to blame for the sick body?
The soul is to blame for the body? Well, the individual is responsible for our own, we're responsible for everything which we do. You could say, but the soul is simply, he's like, the soul is the source of the energy for this body. Remember, we have the subtle body as well. We have the mind. The mind is the problem, more than the soul. The soul is not so much active, but it's the mind. The uncontrolled mind has desires, things we want to do, things we want to enjoy, different activities. The problem is really coming from the mind. Of course, we have intelligence, and we have to use the intelligence to help control the mind.
How do you do that on a daily basis?
Well, intelligence, it depends how much intelligence we have, right? If we have, some people are more intelligent than others. Someone may think, I have no money, I should rob the bank. But the intelligence will say, oh no, don't do that. That will be a big problem. You go to jail. Don't do that. So intelligence is there to help us to understand what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And intelligence is seated next to the soul. So the soul is there helping to give some intelligence, some guidance. See? So we have to learn how to use that intelligence properly.
Does the soul communicate to the intelligence? Because it sounds like the soul speaks also to the intelligence. And do you feel like that?
Yes, the soul, you could say it like that, that the soul is giving some information, guidance to the intelligence. But they're sitting next to each other. Just like when you sit, you can, you know things about each other. And so the intelligence is next to the soul. And so the soul is communicating something to the intelligence. Yes. There's material intelligence and there's spiritual intelligence. Now material intelligence is things which are temporary, which don't last for very long. But spiritual intelligence is on a higher level. It's more concerned with coming out of material life, getting free from the material existence, going beyond birth and death. Material life means birth and death. We take birth, one day we have to die. Because we took birth, one day we have to die. We don't want to die, but the body is going to die. So intelligence is to go beyond birth and death. To go, as I said, there's a material world, there is also a spiritual world. There's a spiritual realm where you can enjoy forever on a higher platform, a higher level of existence, the spiritual platform, different from living like animals, The material, what do we do here? To enjoy, eat, sleep, mate, and be fed. The animal pleasures. But there's a higher pleasure, the pleasure from within. So we can experience the pleasure within, the pleasure of the soul. And we do that regularly by chanting Hare Krishna. The chanting of the Maha Mantra is very effective to awaken that inner pleasure. Have you tried chanting yet? Did you try it yet? Yeah? So chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you can awaken the inner pleasure through the sound of the mantra. So we regularly chant, generally every morning especially, we come here, we will chant here. Chant on our beats, we use beats to meditate. Mantra meditation. You do meditation? You meditate?
I've tried, but I've failed most of the times.
Yeah? Yeah. But it's very difficult. Silent meditation is not really meant for this age. It's not for this age because our minds are so restless. But if you do mantra meditation is more effective in this age. Chanting the mantra. If you have you got some beads? You should get some beads and you can chant on the beads. And we chant the mantra. You just chant the Hare Krishna mantra and you count on the beads as you're chanting. You count how many mantras you chant. And so it's much better than silent meditation. Because to sit silently, the mind will be restless. The mind cannot just simply sit and do nothing or focus on nothing. You have to focus on the sound of the mantra. When we chant, you have to hear the mantra. You have to hear the sound of the mantra. Then you can experience.
So you think that's stronger than maybe like connecting to your own breath and hear that and just go with your own breath, like really tune into that, chanting it?
Oh, chanting is much better than that, yeah. Just concentrating on your breath and like that, that's a very mechanical process. It's maybe good for health, but it's not effective for spiritual development, to come to the higher consciousness, to know your own self and to awaken the inner pleasure. You have to take to the meditation and do the chanting, chant the mantra. You can feel the awakening of the spiritual energy within you when you do the mantra meditation. It's very, very effective. So we do that kind of meditation every day. We like to chant. And we have two forms. One is chanting on the beats, which we do individually, and the other is kirtan. When they're playing the instruments, they play the drums and the small cymbals and like that. We sing the mantra, sing songs together. It's also very powerful and very effective. It's a spiritual process and awakens spiritual energy within us. And you can feel the pleasure. You can feel the peace of mind which it gives. You should come when we have the chanting, when we do the chanting here in the morning. Usually, well, we begin at 4:30 in the morning, and then again at 7:30. That's when we do the chanting together, playing the instruments, coming together. There's a special spiritual energy coming together, being together and singing. And we feel very peaceful and satisfied to take part in these kind of activities. So, like I said, you can awaken the inner pleasure, the spiritual pleasure, the pleasure of the soul. Right? We have the body, we feel some pleasure sometimes, but pleasures of the body are very temporary, and they often end in misery. The nature of this body, we can enjoy the body for some time, but it often ends in misery. We get hurt, we get pain by it. But spiritual pleasure, in the beginning, it's more difficult, but gradually it awakens more and becomes more and more powerful, more and more pleasing. We come to a higher level of consciousness and we feel more peace in the mind. And you can go on to the highest level of self-realization. You can realize your own spiritual being through chanting the mantra. And it doesn't take very long also. In a short time you can actually come to realize your spiritual identity.
How do I realize that I'm on the way or connected?
Well, you'll realize it the more you lose your taste for the material pleasures. The less you think about smoking cigarettes and drinking beer and these kind of things and mundane pleasures. The less you think about these things, the more you think about the higher pleasure. You give up the lower things for the higher pleasures. So that's a sign that you're on the right path, that you're progressing, because you lose your interest in the material way of life, and the pleasures of the animal. We're no longer attracted to these things because we're getting a higher pleasure.
Can you name some of the higher pleasures?
Some of the higher pleasures? Well, the higher pleasures are transcendental knowledge, the awakening of transcendental knowledge, that you'll know more about yourself, who you are. You'll understand your identity as a spiritual being. And the pleasure of being free from the entanglement with the material world. Because material life, there's so many problems. The economic problem, the employment problem, the marriage problem, all of these different issues which come up in everyday life, they become insignificant when you're properly focused on the spiritual path. That's the higher pleasure. When you're indifferent to all, you don't worry about things.
Is it like when you're doing this inner work, isn't like possible that you're kind of like closing yourself because you're still like living with other human beings? So like not thinking about these problems isn't also like closing yourself too much and like maybe not really like taking accountability or like really also thinking about the environment you're living in.
Well, when we come to the higher consciousness, then we care more about everyone and everything. That is Krishna consciousness. That we see all living entities, they're all part of Krishna. So we do care about others. We're not just thinking about our own self. We're not just thinking only about me and what I want, but we actually care about everyone, and we care about the world also. We're very much concerned about the environment and how we don't like to see people pollute the world. You know, they do things like they create so much radioactive energy, they're producing radioactive energy to provide electricity. We use electricity, right? And it's, you know, there's a lot of radioactive waste. And what do they do with the radioactive waste? Oh, they don't know what to do with it. So they throw it into the bottom of the ocean and they say, let people worry about it in another 50 years or something. You know, we don't want to worry about it. We can't solve the problem. So just drop it in the middle of the ocean, and in 50 or 100 years' time, let them worry about it. We don't need to worry about it. So that's the kind of mood, you know. We use electricity, you know, we use it, everybody uses it. We don't think about how they got it, how they made it, but we use it. And so, you know, we try to understand how to make proper use of everything. And we think that the best use of everything is to use it in the service of Krishna. You use it for Krishna because it's actually all His energy. It's the energy of the Supreme Being. It's all His energy. So we should use it for Him. We don't use it for ourselves, but we use it for His pleasure. And we do try to manage things like without electricity. We have some temples, you know, that we just use oil, we just burn oil lamps. We don't use electricity. And cooking is done on wood or cow dung. You can use cow dung for cooking. You can use other things like wood. Try not to use things like gas and electricity.
Why is Krishna a male?
Well, he's both male and female. You see, he can take a female form also. And he does sometimes. He takes a female form. And Lord Shiva wanted to understand about the power of Lord Krishna's illusion. So Lord Krishna took a female form, and Lord Shiva became attracted to him and chased after him. So this way Lord Shiva learned how Krishna can be both male and female. The thing is, you are not woman. You see, you have to understand you're not woman, you are soul in the woman's body. You see? And we've had many bodies before. So, I'm not man, you're not woman, we're all soul. We're all eternal spiritual beings, but we're in material body. And we want to get free from the material body. Get out from that wheel of birth and death. And at the same time, we don't want to do that. We like to step up. And we do spend a lot of time and energy to convince others about this importance of this. To try to understand our spiritual identity, our real position in the world. To get free of birth and death. So it's important, we have some basic principles like here, we're not just vegan, but we are vegetarian. We don't eat things like onion and garlic. Onion and garlic, you could say they're also vegetables, but they're rajasic, means that they stimulate the passion. They stimulate the lust and the desire in the body. They're called aphrodisiacs in the medical language. Aphrodisiac means they increase the passion and the lust in the body. So we don't eat onion and garlic. Buddhism also, we don't eat onion and garlic. They're not considered very good. Although you could say they're vegetable. But we don't take onions and garlic. But we do use things like spices and herbs. Like we grow a number of herbs here. We use them for giving some flavor to the food.
I didn't really understand. I don't know if it's a basic question, but you know the founder, but it sounds like that it's a more ancient religion type.
Well, it's coming in a tradition, a long tradition. Yeah, there is a long tradition there. But he was the founder in the sense that he brought the teachings out from India, because previously it was only in India. But he came out of India and he introduced it into the Western world. So in that sense he was the founder. And he did write a number of books, he translated. He as a young boy, he learned Sanskrit and he translated books like Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is in Sanskrit. And he knew the Sanskrit language. And he'd also learned, he had also a spiritual teacher. He had also guided teachers. And so he could translate the Bhagavad Gita and he could explain it to us also. The Bhagavad Gita is only one book, but there are many other books which he also translated, which were also in Sanskrit, which are very important to understand about the culture and about spiritual education. So yeah, it's a long tradition. Actually, the founder, you could say, is Lord Brahma. Do you know who Lord Brahma is? Lord Brahma, he's the first person in the universe. He's the original person in the universe. He took birth from a lotus flower. And there was a Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. And Vishnu, he's laying on the water, and from his navel comes a lotus flower. And that lotus flower opens, and then from the lotus flower, Lord Brahma takes birth. And Lord Brahma, in this universe, he has 4 heads. 4 heads. Now in other universes there are Brahmas also. Every universe there's a Brahma. But in other universes, the bigger universes, Brahma has more heads. So you get Brahmas with 10 heads, 20 heads, depending on the size of the universe. So Lord Brahma, he's the founder of this line of teachers. We're in a line that's called the Brahma Adva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Sampradaya is the line of teachers, the line. The first person is Lord Brahma. Now Brahma, he was taught by Krishna. He was the first person in the universe. And when he was born, he wanted to understand more about himself. About how did I get here, and where does this lotus flower come from? I'm born from the lotus flower. He wanted to know where the lotus flower is coming from. And he wanted to understand all these things. So he was trying to investigate. And then he heard divine sound. And he heard it said, pa, pa. Tapa, in Sanskrit, it means to do some austerity, to undergo some restraint of the senses, to stop the senses and to give up activity. And so he heard the sound tapa. So he took that instruction. He thought, this must be something, I have to do it. And he sat, he meditated and sat for a long time, very long time. And then he got visions, he could see, he saw the nature of the spiritual world. And Krishna spoke to him the message of the spiritual world and the knowledge, self-realization. So Brahma is the first, he's the real founder. But in the present time, the Prabhupada is the founder. Because he wrote the books in a manner which, Brahma, he spoke in Sanskrit. I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know much Sanskrit. But Brahma, he spoke in Sanskrit. And he gave the knowledge to his students, and then his students. There's a line of people. The good students, they become the teachers, like that. And then the teachers, they have students, and then their students go on and become teachers, like that. So there's a line all the way down to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he was there, but he left the world in 1977. He left the body in 1977 in India. Have you been to India? No? Did you go to India? No? You're going to go one day? Yeah, you should go. So in India there are holy places, and he left the body in a holy place called Vrindavan. In Vrindavan there are many. So his home was in Vrindavan. So he went back home and he left the body there. So his samadhi is there. When the saintly person leaves the body, then we put them in samadhi. And it means we don't burn. Usually they would burn the body. But saintly person, they don't burn the body, they put it in samadhi. So the samadhi is there in Vrindavan. And we go there sometimes. Many temples. Everywhere you can hear kirtan. Everywhere you can hear the playing of the drum and people chanting. It's an amazing village. So sometime you have to go there. Thing of the mood of India here, you get something of the mood. This is the replica of Indian lifestyle here. In India, people all wake up early in the morning, go to the temple. They like that. If you go to temple, you know, packed, and all come. Sometimes people come from far away. They'll travel even the whole night.
Bamboo do its best to get good karma. Do you have imagination for that?
Yes. Well, you see, good karma and bad karma, they will keep you in the material world. You see, so just to get good karma, in the course of trying to get good karma, you may also get some bad karma. You have to be very careful about this, because we may try to get good karma, like being a vegan, you know, you're trying to get good karma, but at the same time you may do something which will get you some bad karma also. Because your diet is not without karma. There is karma in also vegetarian diet. You know, eating vegetables is not like eating animals, but there is karma there. Vegetables are also life. You see, so we're not just simply vegetarians. We offer the food to Krishna. You see, it becomes spiritual because we offer it to Krishna. The karma is taken away. It's a karma-free diet. We want to get free of karma. Just to get good karma, that will keep you in the material world. And you get some good karma, along with it comes some bad karma also. It's difficult. You have to be very, very careful. You have to be very lucky. A lot of people, they try to do good karma. You know, they do things like put the fish back in the sea. Put the fish back in the sea, you know. They go to the market, oh, business is bad, you know, nobody's coming to my shop anymore, business is bad. You know, we go to the market, buy some fish, put the fish back in the sea, get some good karma, because they put the fish back in the sea. Or you get the birds, let the birds go free, you know, and get some good karma, and that way customers will come, I get some good business. So people think like that, I'll do some good karma, and then I will enjoy the material world. But, you know, along with the good karma, you get some bad karma also. You have to be very careful. Difficult to escape karma. The only way to get free of karma is by doing bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. We do that, the yoga of devotion. We dedicate everything to the service of Krishna, doing things for Krishna. Eating, we offer the food first to Krishna. We don't simply eat. We offer the food to Krishna, then we eat. So we try like that. We try to engage everything in the service of Krishna. We have some land here. We use the land to grow vegetables and fruits and flowers, and they're offered to Krishna. You don't get karma. That is getting free of karma. We want to get free of karma, and we can do that by doing bhakti yoga, the yoga of devotion. And the easiest yoga of devotion, chanting the Maha Mantra. By chanting the Maha Mantra, you can immediately get rid of a lot of karma. It's very powerful. They say, just like a snake, a poison snake may bite you. So you can be cured from the poison snake bite by mantra. You know, if you go to India sometimes, there's poison snakes sometimes. And people may get bitten by a poison snake. So you have to take the person to the village where somebody knows the mantra. And the man who knows the mantra, you come and you chant the mantra, and, you know, and then the effect of the poison will go away. Mantras are like that. Some mantras are like that. They can cure the disease. They can cure poison snake bites. And so, the same way,
the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra takes away all the pile, all the accumulation of karma, all the karma we've got from our past lives, because we've been in the material world a long time. Our karma is not only from this life, we have karma from many lives, and we have karma from our mother and father and their mother and father, you know. We have a lot of karma. We have karma from our country also. So karma is a very complex thing. We have a lot of karma. Some of it's good and some of it's bad. But both things keep you in the material world. Good and bad karma, you stay in the material world. We want to get free of karma. Get rid of the karma. And the way to do that, by devotion to Krishna. Because the karma is coming from the material energy, and Krishna is controlling that material energy. So he can order karma, go away. Just like if you know, I remember as a child we used to go and steal apples and the people's garden, you know. But sometimes they would send the dog to get you know. I'd been be up the tree with the apples, and the dog is down there barking, you know. We can't go down because it's a nasty dog, you know, it will bite you. So what to do, you know, you're stuck in the tree. So finally the owner will come, and the owner, he has control over the dog. He's not afraid of the dog. The dog is under his control. And so he say, come down, give back these apples. You have to give back all the apples. Like that. So karma is like that. Karma is under Krishna's control. And Krishna can release us from the karma. If we want to get free, we have to go to Krishna. Oh Krishna, help me, save me. You have to call out to Krishna. Can help us to get free of karma.
And what happens to the soul when your body dies and you are out of karma in this life?
Then you go to the spiritual world. Liberated. Go back to Godhead. We say go back to Godhead. To the world of eternal bliss and knowledge. We don't need to take another material body, because material body means again suffering. But we will go to the spiritual realm, and we have a spiritual body which doesn't bring any misery, which doesn't suffer. You don't get COVID, you don't get all these nasty diseases. There's no cancer there in the spiritual world. There's none of these things there. Horrible diseases. It's all bliss and knowledge eternally. We can go there and enjoy. And people are happy there, they're enjoying there. And they're all engaged in the path of devotion. They're all happy in the service of Krishna. They chant Hare Krishna, they talk about Krishna, they discuss also wonderful topics like Bhagavad Gita and other things. They spend their time in this way. They don't go to factory, they don't work in the office all day, they don't do all these nasty things. They're simply chanting, hearing about Krishna. So it's a better life, isn't it? What do you think?
I just think that the urge and the wish to knowledge is almost also materialistic to me now, right now. Just now.
Well, knowledge is that there is material knowledge, there's spiritual knowledge. So there's a different realm of knowledge. You see, it's not mundane knowledge of the material world, but spiritual knowledge. knowledge of transcendence.
I have a friend who's also very spiritual and who does like some of the things you mentioned, and like she's vegan but also does not all the other things you said. They do other stuff, so she's kind of spiritual, and she often says to me, I don't know, but with holding space, and this feels spiritual for me, because she has like a sense of...
Well, what is spiritual? We have to understand clearly. You know, what is matter and what is spirit? You see? Matter means the elements of the material world. And spiritual means that which is in relation to the supreme spiritual being. It has to be in relation to Krishna. It's not just, oh, we had a very spiritual evening the other evening, you know, my friend and I, it was very spiritual, you know. We may think like that, and we may use that word, but actually what does spiritual actually mean? We're talking about something which is eternal, which increases more and more. Usually, material world, the pleasures decrease. They go down. In the beginning, some pleasure, and the next time less pleasure, and then less and less. The pleasure is going down, but spiritual pleasure is increasing more and more, expanding, unlimited, goes on. Spiritual pleasure, spiritual knowledge, it's all in relation to the Supreme Spirit. And the Supreme Spirit means Lord Krishna. Krishna. You have to put Krishna in the center. You see? We are also part of Krishna. We're parts of Krishna. We're part of his family. We have an eternal relationship with him. So that is the real spiritual connection. When you're connecting to Krishna. And it comes when we chant. We have to chant Hare Krishna. We have to hear about Krishna. You can awaken that. The spirituality, spiritual pleasure, we want that pleasure. And when you get that pleasure, you'll never want the material pleasures again. You'll be just, you know, it won't have any attraction for you. You won't want it again. Because you're experiencing so much pleasure on the higher platform. But you won't want that pleasure again. You know, just like animals, like the pig. You know, the pigs, you know, they enjoy. What do they enjoy? They eat, you know. But what do they eat? Pig food, you know. Pig food, you know. Is it very attractive? Is it very appealing? And the pigs also, you know, they have their families, they have a lot of piglets, you know, they have a lot of, you know, they're having a lot of mating in their place. So pig life is like that, you know. So that kind of pleasure is there for animals like a pig. So there's pleasures for the pig, but there's a different pleasure for human beings. Human beings are meant to be different from pigs. We're not meant to try to enjoy like pigs. But we have to purify ourselves first. We have to purify ourselves by doing some austerity. Austerity. It means controlling the mind and senses. Can you control your mind and senses?
Yes, if I want to.
Yes, if you want to, yeah. The question, do we want to? We should, we have to do you want to be like the pig? Or do you want the higher pleasure? We should consider like that. What do we want? Do you want the lower pleasure or the higher pleasure? There's a difference. There's, so pleasures for one for the pigs and pleasures for the people. Civilized people, they have a higher pleasure. Just in the material world, ordinary people, somebody is a manager or something, he's not going to be going out in the same place where all the workers are going, he's the boss, he enjoys going to the nice restaurant, he will eat different, different food and so, because he's the boss, so he's enjoying in a different way. The workers in the factory, they're also enjoying on a lower level. But the boss, the managers, they enjoy on a higher level. So similarly, we should understand the position, being in the human body, that we can have lower pleasure or we can have higher pleasure. We have to think about what do we want? Where do we want to go? What pleasure do you want? It's our choice. Yeah, you said, if I want. You said, if I want, I can do it. So it's our choice. We have that. If we choose to be like the pig, go ahead, be a pig, But if you want, if you're more thoughtful, you want the higher pleasure, you have to do a little bit. You have to control the mind and the senses. Come to the higher consciousness. Understand the soul, right? You are not the body, you are the soul. The soul, the eternal spiritual self within, maintaining the body. At the time of death, the soul leaves the body, and the subtle body also goes along with the soul. The mind also accompanies the soul, because our mind carries our desires, and it will take us to another body according to our qualification. What did we want? What was our consciousness? Bhagavad Gita says, at the end of life, whatever you remember, then that will take you to the next one. So, at the end of life, whatever we are thinking will determine our destiny in the next one.
I think that is true also in terms of becoming a parent, maybe, because what a parent thinks will transfer onto the child in big ways.
Oh yeah.
Not only in death, but also in birth. Alright.
Yeah, becoming a parent. The child will have some of the qualities of the parent.
What they think.
Huh?
The qualities of what their parent thinks goes over to the child.
Yeah.
In big ways.
Yeah. But then the child grows up and they get a lot of association. They go to school, they mix with other people, and and whatever they had learned initially from the parents, that can be forgotten. They can all be changed because they're in different association, different company. So although at the beginning of life, the child may have been quite, in the course as they grow up, they change.
Did it change what you think in your soul, with your soul, or in your subtle mind within your life, because you started early? And the world has changed in many ways, and you mentioned struggles, and the temples are open to many people, and it sounds like that many people more are welcome. And so, did you ever have the wish that the higher thinking and more simple living would enter like more stages of people, like more in the outside world? And did it change how you think about it, how you encounter the chance?
Yes, well, we have to be sensitive to the world we're living in, the world around us. We can't be totally cut off from the world. We are living in the world, but we don't want to be too much caught up in the world. The example was given in the Bhagavad Gita about the lotus flower. And that lotus flower is very interesting. Usually it comes out from the mud, and it comes out and it's on the water. It's not in the water. The lotus leaf is waterproof. You know, the lotus leaf, it doesn't get saturated with water. It sits on the water. Sometimes we will use a lotus leaf as a plate to eat our food from it. You can use it like a plate. And similarly, banana leaf also. Banana leaves, they're waterproof. You know, so you can put your food in. In India, it's common to eat from banana leaf. And it's very healthy actually, because there's a special chemical on the leaf of the plate, which is very good. Some people eat every meal from a banana leaf. They never use any plate. We have things like styrofoam and plastics and terrible things. But if you use a nice lotus leaf or a banana leaf, it's very good. So like that, we have to be in the world. We're in the world, but we're not identifying with the world. At the same time, we're aloof to it all. You see? Other people, they're very caught up in the world and so many things. You know, they're always thinking materially, the body, the money, so many issues. We need to think about the soul. People have forgotten about the soul. They don't think about the soul, the real self. We only think materially. How much is my bank balance today? How to make it grow more and more? People take so much care for the body, the hair, the nails, everything. You know, they spend a lot of time decorating themselves. But at the time of death, it's all finished. The body, just a dress. And just like we change the dress, we change the body. The dress gets old, you get a new dress. The body gets old, you get a new body. But what kind of body do you want to take? Where do you want to go in here? We have to think about this. It's important. Where should we go from here? You can go up, higher planets, heaven, long life, opulence, sense gratification. People are so good looking, so intelligent there. But they also get old and they have to die, come back. You can't stay there forever. So heaven, just to go to heaven, that's not the answer. When you go down, that's hell. Suffering, darkness, misery, not pleasant. Want to come back on earth again? Come back here? Well, come back, you don't know. How is it? Now everything is becoming more and more degraded. More and more influenced by the society. You have people, you can be a man, you can be a woman, it doesn't matter, men, women are all the same. Men can become women and women become men. And women marry another woman and men marry another man. And this kind of stuff is going on. And it's getting worse all the time. So you want to be in that kind of stuff. And now you have a human body, but you come back, you may not have a human body. You don't know. Now you have association with people who are interested in self-realization, who are thinking about higher knowledge, but you don't know if you come back in next life where you will be, what kind of culture, what kind of society you will be in, what condition of life you will be in. So we should take advantage of this lifetime to become fully self-realized, to try to perfect our life, to get free birth and death. Take advantage of this opportunity, because we don't know what will be in the future.
I have another question about emotions. While you were speaking, you had it sounds like you had joy when you laughed about some situations and smiled, and so I would say you had joy, but so you expressed it through your material body, and so it's kind of material thing. And is it would you say emotions have no value for you because it's not part of your soul, because inside the body and how you express it? I don't know how to express myself.
Well, emotions can be just come from the body, from the mind. You see, it's not necessary. There is spiritual emotions which are more from the soul, but there's also emotions which are more just coming from the body and mind. The attachment to the pleasure of the senses and things in relation to the body. So it can be material emotions, but there are also spiritual emotions. The ecstasy, the pleasure of spiritual activities can be there. That's a higher consciousness again. Again, there's different levels of consciousness. So emotions are like that also. The emotions can be on the bodily platform, they can be on the spiritual platform.
So what you would say all emotions I can feel with my body are less worth, let's say, on a material platform?
Generally, yes.
Okay.
We have to purify ourselves to experience spiritual emotions. That takes some time, practice, to come to that consciousness, to experience the spiritual emotions. Okay, we should join the Aarti.
Guru Maharaj, these two girls are my roommates.
Oh,
So I want to gift Prabhuji. I bought it just from the bookshop.
oh really?
Yeah, for Michael and Natasha. They've been really very nice to us. Tanmay, me, and all four are living in the same room.
Really?
Yeah. They're very nice. This is for her, Michael.
German? Yeah? And this is for?
Natasha.
Thank you so much.
It's okay for you?
For her? Ali?
It's in English.
Ali?
I thought it's okay. I got a small book